to sit in the office, and when that happens, you know, it goes through the roof. So he said, and this is the other thing. The lawyer told him, you know, this is a company-sponsored event. If people hurt their eyes looking at the sun, it's a company liability, so don't do that.
Oh my gosh.
So they called it off. They gave everybody the day off from work.
How about that? Great, great.
They probably like that better than a moon pie anyway. Just throwing it out there.
Great.
You want me to bring this back for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love one. I'm kind of, I don't know if they're gonna have my size.
$1,500?
right in my pocket, right here. I'll wire it to you. I'll do PayPal. Did they take PayPal? Can I pay with that?
Okay.
All right, cool. Thank you, Contessa.
That seems sketchy. Sure.
Okay, so we're back. We're here with Abby Stevenson, fellow reporter, CNBC. Going to talk about some of the social media and what's going on right now with that. So
so I took a look at some of the trends we're seeing here on social media. The hashtag that's trending so far is Eclipse 2017. Shocker. I noticed Twitter has rolled out a special emoji for the event. It's like a sun with a little black dot in the middle. So that was something that's unique.
Let's see if we can get this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And one thing I noticed on social media over the weekend, and especially today, it was like all about like, I don't really know what an eclipse is, but I just don't want to burn my eyeballs out, right? Everybody's talking about like, how do I not go blind during the eclipse? So the question is, if you didn't get your glasses today, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a lot of articles that are trending as far as what are some homemade hacks you can do. One of them had like a box you could put over your head with a piece of aluminum foil.
Right.
Other things like, how do I protect my pet from you know, solar burn? Turns out pets don't actually have a natural instinct to look at the sun. So it's actually more dangerous to try and strap a pair of these goggles to your pet's face and they try and claw it off and scratch their cornea.
People will probably doing that. Try doing that anyway.
Like they're recommending like don't do that. That's probably not a good idea.
That's not going to stop some people though. No, there will inevitably be people doing that.
Yeah. Just like maybe don't walk your dog at 2:44 p.m. when you know we're in the total path here.
Right, totally.
So, I mean, I think this is really an astronomical event on social media, right? Jim Cramer's always talking about like the stocks that do the best are the ones with the stay-at-home economy, and people only want to leave their house when it's something that's worthy of posting on social media. So what's better to post on social media than an eclipse, right?
Right.
But, you know, I'm also seeing trending topics that are talking about don't take selfies in front of the eclipse because they're saying that the screen of your phone reflects ultraviolet rays towards your eye and you could still get solar burn as well.
Okay.
So be careful out there, selfie generation. Maybe not a great time to take a you know, get one little photo, but keep it moving.
Yeah, maybe just try living your life instead of taking a selfie at this time, right? Exactly.
You know, there's plenty of selfies to go around. I also saw that McDonald's, a specific location in Illinois, is giving employees a break during the eclipse.
Oh, cool.
Guess how long that break is for?
4 minutes.
3 minutes. You get a 3-minute break.
Okay.
They will stop taking orders between 1:17 and 1:20 p.m. today.
Okay.
And they will resume at 1:21.
And they will resume right at 1:21.
I don't know if the next break they're going to get is in 2024 when the next eclipse happens, but
we'll see.
That was something that was interesting on there as well.
Cool. All right. All right, cool. Well, listen, you're going to come back, right?
I'm going to keep coming. There's lots of things flowing in on social media. I'm keeping an eye on it all day.
We got to toss it back to Jane Wells in the field, but thanks for coming by, and come by again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Abby. Jane, what are you looking at right now?
Hey, Robert, it is... I can't take my eyes off the sun. It is so amazing to see this in person. It started, as you know, a little over 10 minutes ago. The moon coming across the sun from the 1 o'clock position now through these goggles, at least. It looks a little bit, the sun's turning a little bit into Pac-Man. More folks are coming into the area here to set up, and they've got their solar glasses on. We've seen people, of course, looking through their telescopes that they brought. There's 20,000 people camped at this campground in Madras, Oregon. And, of course, we're now just about an hour away from totality, which will be amazing. Now, I just got off the phone with the FAA, Robert, because there's all kinds of airline flights flying east today, flying through the path of the eclipse. You know, some intentionally, others not so. I asked, you know, have you warned pilots about ice safety, especially if you're in the cockpit flying east? You know, you got the big cockpit window. The FAA told me that they put out a notice to airmen, which they're supposed to read before they fly, so that they are aware of the situation. But you know, not everybody's handing out goggles to the passengers on the flights. They won't necessarily maybe be able to look out at the sun of the flight, but it is something to keep concerned about today. If you are flying today, if you're getting ready to take off, if you're in the air right now able to stream this and you don't have these, don't look at the sun for a while.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. Jane, is this your first total solar eclipse? Is this the first time you've seen one live like this?
When I was a kid, I had one of those pinhole cameras where you could look at it on the ground. It would go through and it would reflect on the ground.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever gotten to look directly at it. It is so cool. I can't hardly stand it. And when it's 10:19 here and everything goes dark, fortunately the weather is perfect. I can't wait to feel the temperature drop. Maybe we'll hear crickets.
Yeah.
The whole thing, Robert. I feel very lucky to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty jealous, actually. I'd love to be out there myself. I understand Madras is supposed to be one of the places to be for it. So I know that I was doing some research earlier this week, and I was talking to some folks at the cellular carriers like T-Mobile, AT&T, the Big Four, and they were saying that they've actually sent. They're actually adding capacity in several places, and Madras was one of the places where they were adding it.
Well. Yes, we were told that AT&T, for example, was going to put 8 of these cells on wheels, cows out, and Verizon more.
Yeah.
Cell traffic here, very iffy, very, very iffy at the point. The best way we're communicating today is through text. I'm talking to you because we're on a satellite.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I've got to keep looking at it. Well, there's a once in a lifetime. I'm not going to look at the camera. I got to look at the sun.
No problem, no problem. Keep looking, keep checking it out. Well, I'm looking at a little bit of we have a window open on the screen here, and so I'm getting a little bit of a shot of it, but it's obviously not anywhere close to the real thing. So it's going to be pretty intense. Hopefully we'll have a chance to talk when it goes totally dark out there. But
oh yeah.
Yeah. So well, cool. I mean. All right, great. Well, thanks a lot.
Solar system, yay!
Thanks a lot, Jane. We'll talk again soon, okay?
Okay.
All right, take care. So, hey, so we're here with Lauren Thomas, is one of our reporters here for .com.
Yes.
Lauren's going to talk about some of the stories she's been working on, some of the things we've been doing here with respect to the eclipse, and just some of the kind of business angles.
All things retail,
yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
So I cover retail for CNBC. So I've been trying to keep a watch on how some businesses are playing into this eclipse, and really, I guess the big thing is who is selling these glasses. So I know you got your hands on some glasses, right?
Yep,
Over the where did you manage to pick some up?
I had to get them actually. We had to reserve them. There's a place here in New York, this huge store called B&H Photo and Video, and they sell online. We had to reserve them online.
Right. Yeah. No, a lot of places have. It's kind of incredible at how fast and how quickly they've sold out of these glasses. So some of the names I just wanted to run through, kind of who's been selling glasses. So we had 7-Eleven was out there selling glasses. Some companies like Best Buy, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, even a grocery store, Kroger. I thought that was kind of interesting. They were selling glasses, so you could have, and obviously this wasn't at every location. Like McDonald's, for example, was just selling glasses in Oregon. So kind of the hot spots throughout the U.S., different cities, I guess.
Yeah.
You could find these guys. I said Hobby Lobby, Kirkland's. That's interesting. And so a lot of gas stations and truck stops as well, maybe along highways. So funny story. So I'm from South Carolina, which just happens to be right within this path of totality.
Yeah.
So I've been hearing how my family is prepping, and a lot of people flocking in this weekend to Greenville, South Carolina, Columbia, and Charleston seem to be 3 really popular destinations. And so a lot of cars right now are just parked along Interstate 85, runs right through it. So hence maybe why some of the gas stations and truck stops are selling these glasses. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like it turned into, I guess, the weekend here. I feel like it was almost like a black market of sorts. Like everyone was trying to get their hands on a pair of glasses, and like we said, a lot of places have sold out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and there's a list of approved retailers, right?
Right. That's key too, because I hate this, but I even saw this morning as I was scrolling through a few places places have they've issued recalls for their glasses. So I guess you've got to be careful. I mean, that's the last thing you want, right? Is to get outside and come to find out your glasses are faulty.
Right.
So be careful out there, I guess, is all I have to say. Like if you've already got a pair of glasses, like definitely make sure it's from a reliable vendor, to say the least.
Yeah, I understand. It was especially a problem online for some people.
Exactly.
But I think all the retailers that you named were all they were all approved. They're on the list of American Astronomical Society has.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's where we got our list. So, and then a few other names. Like I thought, so we've got Toys R Us, which is funny. So maybe marketing to like a audience who wants to snag a pair of glasses. I know at least, so I've got younger siblings, and back home today, all of the schools are closed, like I think throughout South Carolina, since this is just such a big ordeal, especially in that state. So I don't know, maybe teachers didn't want to have that liability. Like it's a risk, I guess, if this were to happen, and then you have kids with glasses, some without. Like what are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard any other stories about just like companies, you know, worried about liability and whatnot, and if everyone has glasses within your business. And
Contessa was saying that there were some companies that were like giving people the day off because they didn't.
No, it is. It's like the same as same as getting the day off school, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Well, cool. Well, all right.
So that's kind of like what I've been watching throughout retail, and I don't know. There are a few names. So Nike, a few brands, I guess, trying to play up on the Eclipse. So Nike, you can go online and they have a page for like solar eclipse wear, essentially, where it's just all black clothing, right? So you can get, an all blacked out pair of tennis shoes. I don't think they designed anything new for the day per se, but they have a page within their website where you can just buy, all black gear on Nike. So I thought that was kind of fun, like just one way to really like up the ante on the day of. And have you heard of Casper mattresses?
The mattress company, yes. I've seen all those,
They've done something interesting. So they partner with Target now. So they've got their name out, working with Target, but they're based in Wyoming. So I guess that's kind of along this is one city one state, I'm sorry, where you can watch it falls within that path of totality, I believe. But so it's Casper, Wyoming, hence that. They're selling for $499. You can buy a ticket to stay in a luxury tent with food and drinks and a comfy Casper mattress and watch the eclipse play out this afternoon. So I thought that was another way that a retailer could really just try to make the most, I guess, out of this day. But no, I didn't realize that Casper, Wyoming is the city where that company is based. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Far out.
So they're doing that, and I don't know. It's just overall, like from a retail perspective, I would say it's been interesting to see just how brands are playing into this. Some better than others. Some things are really cheesy, of course. And I know we've got a CPG reporter who's going to get into some of that a little bit later and just talk about like some of the wacky commercials that we've seen out there. So it's, I don't know, it's been fun. And like Abigail, I think she gave us a great rundown of what's happening on social media. It's like a fun day. I think it's good to see a lot of people coming together over this event, kind of in spite of everything else we've been hearing in the news recently. So
absolutely.
I like it.
Cool, great. Well, thanks, Lauren. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, cool.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so we're gonna bring Eric Chemi on here. This is
Have like a cutaway shot?
No, I don't.
Doing?
Hey, man.
What's going on, Robert?
That's good to see you.
I can't believe they're letting you host a show for 3 hours.
Yeah, I know, man.
And you got your emails up here, your Twitter. You always got to hide that stuff, Yeah,
I know. I probably should turn these off, right?
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
You usually should leave something up that's fake. You leave something up so it looks like you're doing work, but you don't show your actual emails, right? You just show a screensaver. The black screen is worse. Someone's yelling probably at someone that now you don't have any monitors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll turn them back on. I'll put up pictures of something solar, I think.
Yeah, see, like, exactly. If you just do solar eclipse and leave it on Google
solar
Images.
Eclipse.
Yeah, there you go.
Here we go.
Done.
And we'll have
That's
images.
better, yeah. See, now that looks more realistic and relevant to people, but if you leave it off, it looks like you're not working at all.
I'm glad that you're here to give me lessons in this.
Amateur hour over here.
I'm doing my best, man. I'm doing my best.
We'll get you to tuck in the shirt by the end of the day too.
I know.
Okay.
You're dapper. I mean, that's the. Yeah. I need to start adopting some of your style points.
Exactly.
You know.
But you're coming along. I mean, this is half hour into it. This is 3 hours or 4 hours.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be 4 hours.
You should have a water bottle here too.
I have one. I have one.
Okay.
I have my clean canteen.
But see, you know, when I think about like what you were doing there, just wasting time trying to find something on a screen to show people, right? That kind of goes to this idea that people have said, oh, there's all this productivity loss. There was some number out there that said $700 million is going to be lost today based on the eclipse. But I think about that number is actually kind of small. What was that, $2 per adult in America? That's nothing, right? That's a subway pass here in the city. But then when you look at all the other things that supposedly we waste money on, right? It's Amazon Prime Day, and it's Black Friday, and it's the World Cup, and it's the Olympics, and it just goes on and on and on. And it makes me wonder, maybe no one's doing any work anyway. And so, like, I saw a stat, Nick Wells up there was like, oh, here's a good one. It's like $100 billion a year in people going to the bathroom, and that's productivity loss. So these are the kind of stats that I wonder about. When you add it all up, maybe there's no productivity in America if you added up every single one of these.
Sure.
So that was an interesting data point.
There's still productivity.
Yeah, because everything, there's another one that's like, oh, people waste $500 billion a year or $500 million a day. I don't remember what it was, something like that, because of their concern over childcare costs or because they have bad sleep and their mattresses aren't good. So you can just add these things up. So I think $700 million for a day, that's nothing.
But, but okay, let me ask you, how do they actually tabulate, like, how do they calculate productivity loss?
Well, that's the thing. So in this case, it's an estimate of, let's say everybody spends 20 minutes doing something eclipse related.
Okay.
And then they say, okay, well, how many people work? What's the median income? The median hourly wage? So you just start multiplying all these things, but if all of a sudden you take 20 minutes and it becomes an hour, or you take a different set of wages because you say, oh, it's only this part of the population. You know, the estimates can move by 10x really quickly if you just multiply a little 1.2 here and a 1.2 there. That starts to really pile up. So those are the kind of things that I see those numbers spreading around, and I think, I don't know if this is real.
Right.
And I think if you weren't doing 20 minutes on the eclipse today, you'd be doing 20 minutes eating those donuts over there, or walking around the courtyard back there, or talking to people. So that's my response to those kind of data points. But, you know, like, I mean, you'd probably spend 20 minutes in this 3 hours not even working.
Sure. Sure. I mean, it sounds like you're pretty deeply skeptical of these things.
I'm deeply skeptical. The other one that I'm deeply skeptical about, but I know less about, is the solar power thing. And I know you people will talk about that because I feel like if it's cloudy, what were they going to get anyway? Well, where was the sun power in a cloudy day? I mean,
we're going to be talking about that.
Yeah, so I think about that one. Or if it was winter, there would be 3 hours less sunlight anyway. If this eclipse was happening in Feb, there would be 3 hours less sunlight than if it were happening today.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of power that they're not going to get. So I would be skeptical about all the hoopla about that. So are there people in your ear telling you?
No, nobody's talking right now.
Do you even have any?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they are telling me.
Do they tell you, like, oh, you got to get rid of this guy, we got to get to the next guy, or does it just run on?
No. We have time, actually. And that's great. I actually saw this story, this $700 million productivity.
It's been floating around all weekend.
People are getting furious about it. Like, some people on Twitter were getting like people were going, oh, God forbid, like, people should actually be, you know, wasting time enjoying the solar eclipse. Like, people were getting like kind of indignant.
But also it's like, so many of the people that want to see, they've already taken the day off. Like, they have a vacation day to use. Does that count? I don't know if that counts.
Right.
And I just think it's such a small number. 700 million is really small relative to how much money any company makes.
Yeah, I mean, what, 400 million people in the U.S.? 300 million people in the U.S.? I mean, so, I mean, I mean, I think, and I might be wrong, and this one could be a good Google one. If you look at, like, Walmart's revenues in a year, I think Walmart has, like, 400, Walmart revenues. Yeah, sure.
Just hit, enter. Yeah, that's what I thought, like 400, call it almost what you got. What else is going on here today?
We're doing a couple of things. We're going to be we're talking to some people in the field, talking to Jane Wells is in Madras, Oregon. Madras?
Yeah, I don't think they say it like they say it in India.
No.
In India, it'd be Madras.
It's not, yes.
And I bet in Oregon it's probably just like Madras.
Madras.
That's
I think that's what it is.
Like,
Madras.
What's the most
actually.
Americanized way you can say it?
Madras. She's in Madras. There's actually a bunch of big festivals going on in some of these places, and Madras is one of them. They have a huge like solar fest kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's happening there. So she's there. Contessa Brewer is in Columbia, South Carolina. So I talked to her. I guess there's a bunch of events going on there. We just had Lauren Thomas. We had Adam over here. He was doing. He's taking pictures.
Your boss.
Yes, my
semi-boss. Your former boss.
My former boss. So he's out taking pictures right now. I was over at B&H yesterday. I got some solar filters to put over the lens of the camera, and they're actually sold out of the proper solar ones. So we had to like improvise and stack a couple of neural density, neutral.
So something's going to screw
neutral
up,
density.
probably.
No. He already took pictures of it. It looked great. He took pictures of the sun
earlier. It's not
earlier.
an eclipse yet, though.
No. I think it'll look good.
Be okay?
We're only going to get like 75% coverage here, so I think it'll work out well.
I mean, because if you look at that shot right now that's on the screen that we see, it's like, it just looks like a cartoon graphic, right? I mean, I don't know. Like, what I want to see is I kind of want to see what does it look like on the ground over there, right? Like, you want to see that sun and moon shot, and then you want to see the ground shot, because like, how dark is it on the ground relative to that eclipse? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think it's I think there's like this glow around. We got to go to Contessa right now. She's in the field. So
all right.
Thanks for stopping by, man.
Dude.
All right, you're gonna come by later again.
I'll be
I
back.
hope. All right,
I'm always back.
please do. All right, cool. Hi, Contessa. Are you there?
This is where the party is at. I'm telling you what, if you are in a studio, say in the Northeast, where you're only getting a partial eclipse, you're just missing out. I mean, who are we kidding? This is where it's happening. It is the city in the eastern United States that will get the longest period of totality at more than 2 minutes, like 2 minutes and 38 seconds, something like that, at 2:41. The game here for the Columbia Fireflies starts in about half an hour, but the big show, the one everyone is going to be watching, is the total eclipse 2017. There's one little hitch in the plans. It's the weather forecast. I don't know if you can tell behind me, but there are these big cumulus clouds rolling in. So where we started the morning with totally blue skies, we're now seeing these big, beautiful, puffy white clouds that just might occlude our view of the total eclipse. But people here are feeling really optimistic. They think that the skies will clear out and that they'll be able to see what they're calling a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Although, I spoke with NASA, and NASA says, maybe not, because in 2024, they're expecting an eclipse that moves from Texas up through the coast of Maine. So they said, like maybe not coast to coast. And I pointed out, Robert, Texas has a coast, it has a southern coast, and Maine has a coast. So really, that is coast to coast, right? Isn't that the way that works?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, it's a coast. It's a coast to a coast.
Okay, so now hold on. I gotta show you something. This is the baseball stadium for the minor league Columbia Fireflies. They're expecting a near capacity crowd. So they've already sold 9,300 tickets, which would break their record set on the 4th of July. And with me here, can I get out of the light here? Am I okay? Ooh, feel that sunshine. Hi, Andrew.
Hello.
How old are you?
I'm 10.
He's 10. Why did you come out to the ballpark today?
Because I wanted to see the total eclipse and watch the game.
Now, did you check the forecast today before you came out to the ballpark?
No, I did not.
So you have no idea whether it might, say, rain on the parade, so to speak?
Nope.
No. Are you optimistic that these clouds are going to stay away long enough for you to see a total eclipse?
Hopefully so.
Have you ever seen a total eclipse before?
No, I have not.
I knew that. I haven't seen one either, and I'm much older. You think the eclipse might change that?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
engineering and math and science and technology. Did you go building blocks and things where you can measure the eclipse? And I went
Beside me, people getting off constantly. I'm going to bring over Dr. Mark Leisting. He is with Clemson. Doctor, how are you?
Hi.
What does it mean to you to see all these people coming here today, bringing their kids, sort of the next generation of scientists?
Yeah, it's a rare opportunity for us. You know, we usually do astronomy from a lonely mountaintop or from a computer terminal in a dark office, and to be able to do astronomy out here with 40,000 of our friends, or however many it's going to turn out to be, is pretty exciting that we get to bring astronomy to all these people, and especially young children, people who will remember this for the rest of their lives and maybe even change their lives.
Yeah. What are some of the events planned for today?
People explanations of what's going on and safe observing practices for the eclipse and trying to make sure everybody's up to speed for when they can take their glasses off and so on. But we also have a lot of events for kids on the other side where they get to build their models of the Earth, Moon, Sun system, or make pinhole projectors, and we show them how to use them. And of course, there's food and drink and bingo games and all kinds of events.
Pretty much anything you could wish for, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Now tell me, which was a bigger deal? Today, the total solar eclipse, or that football game back in January?
Well, for me, it's today. There aren't, most people out here might say otherwise.
I think you're right. Thank you so much. Enjoy today, Dr. Leisting.
My pleasure.
Take care. Guys, it really is kind of a game day atmosphere out here. People have brought their families in. People have brought their chairs and coolers. It is going to be a great time happening in about 2 hours from now at 2:37. It will last for 2 minutes and 37 seconds. That's it from Clemson. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you. All right, so here on set we have Aditi Roy, CNBC reporter, going to talk about solar power.
Yeah, exactly. You see all these people cashing in on the solar eclipse, and everyone's so happy. Well, some people who aren't really happy are people in the solar industry, because right now stocks of a lot of solar companies are down, like First Solar, Canadian Solar, Jinko Solar. The reason is that obviously with the sun partially covered, in some places, obviously, 90% covered, you're not grasping as much solar energy from the sun. And so solar companies are having to grapple with that.
Really? So how are they, how they're trying to compensate for that?
Yeah, so the biggest challenge for them is that it's not even so, because there's cloudy days, right? So there's cloudy days, there's obviously nighttime and things like that. But the biggest challenge is that when the sun goes away, it's going to happen really quickly in a very short amount of time, and it'll be a very steep decline. And then when it comes back, it'll be a very steep ramp up. So I think that's what makes it really challenging for the grid folks, for instance. So for the solar companies, they're saying that they, the grid people, for instance, are saying like they're going to compensate by wind power, other sources of power. The solar companies tell me that we're talking about a very short amount of time. So in the big picture, over the course of the year, it'll even out. But for that point in time, yeah, they're hurting a little bit.
Interesting. Really weird, really weird. So, I guess overall, solar stocks, how are they performing this year in general? Do we know? Is it been a good year for them, or?
That I haven't checked. I know that at this moment, a lot of them are down.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay,
cool. Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll turn around.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I know.
okay.
The grid people, by the way, say that they have it under control, no fear of any blackouts or anything.
Great. Okay, interesting. Yeah, because I was doing. I know that there are like a lot of companies like Tesla and some of these other companies that are, they're trying to sell batteries to utilities, right?
Yes.
And this is supposed to help with this kind of intermittency problem.
Absolutely.
This is one of the issues that renewable energies have in general.
It is actually, like in California, for instance, there's this thing called, everywhere, right? They have negative pricing, which it's really getting in the weeds here. But part of the negative pricing is that just that variability. It's really hard to predict because when it goes away, it can go away really fast. And again, it's so unpredictable. So I know those batteries can definitely help even things out.
Yeah, they were doing batteries, and I think some people were using like natural gas as kind of a baseline.
Exactly.
And then solar to help with with peaking and stuff like that.
Exactly.
With peak energy use.
And in California, it's tough because there are all these laws that that are regulating and making it so that California has to be, let's say, a certain percentage renewable by this year, right? But there's still kind of conventional power plants that are going up as well. So you have two kind of different types of energy policy going up, and it just can create a little bit of confusion.
Yeah, it's kind of a tangled network. I'm from California myself. So,
oh wow.
Yeah. So I'm familiar with it out there. But anyhow, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Okay.
Take
cool.
care.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. So we're gonna go back to Jane Wells. She's out in the field right now. She's in Madras, Oregon. Jane.
Hi, Robert. We are more than halfway from the beginning of the eclipse to totality here, and you can get a sense, at least here live, looking through the sun goggles, that it's not just a shadow; it's a disk somehow passing in front of the sun. It's a very, very cool, very unique feeling. People are starting to gather here. More people in the field as they watch. I would say generally, it does look a tad darker, kind of like maybe if a cloud was passing over the sun.
Okay.
And I do feel as though the temperature has gotten a little bit cooler than it was earlier. But ooh, boy, I just glanced up. I won't do that again. Kids, don't do this at home. Again, at 19 after the hour, I will be able to take these off because during the 2 minutes of totality, if you are in that zone, and only if you are in that zone where there is a total eclipse of the sun, you can take these glasses off and look up at it, and only then will I do that. Oops, back to you.
All right, thank you. Those are very stylish glasses, Jane. I like those. All right, cool, thanks.
Yes.
So here we have David Gernon here to talk about some more business angles related to the eclipse. David, what's going on, man?
That's right. In late July, I took a look at a few industries that maybe could see some sort of ability to capitalize on this once-in-a-lifetime event, and I found hotels and airlines to be two industries that really are looking to take advantage of it. So, for instance, at these hotels in the path of totality, at a Hilton, for instance, that I found in Kansas, the week before the eclipse, rates go for around $199, and then for this weekend, the rates are over $400. So there's other, La Quinta, in the path, 93 on average, but the night before the eclipse, 425.
Wow.
That's for a La Quinta Inn and Suites. So, obviously a big revenue boost there.
Huh.
Another, airlines I mentioned, so Southwest, for instance, is highlighted, the flights that are going to go in the path, and so they're offering, special cocktails and little gift bags for passengers who take those flights. Hotels all across the country, 60%, higher occupancy than this weekend last year, things like that. Obviously, people have been planning this for a while.
Sure. I heard a lot of these places just like totally sold out. Like they've been sold. Some places have been sold out for months. I've heard.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just because there's like a whole subculture of people who chase these things, who go around the world and like spend their vacation time, spend their money, like going. No, I'm serious. Like there's a whole group of people. I mean, I almost did it myself, but I had to work. So
sure, right.
I had to do this today.
It's their moment in the limelight today.
Yeah. Right. So did you follow Airbnb? Because I know a lot of people are doing Airbnb too. I mean, I've heard that like people like opening up like their homes for Airbnb.
Yeah,
and
sure.
doing that kind of
I'm
stuff.
sure those prices skyrocketed too. I didn't follow any of that myself, but there is one town in Kentucky, Hopkinsville, who sort of have branded themselves as kind of this, Eclipseville. They took out the domain name on the internet, eclipseville.com.
Did they really?
Yeah.
They got the actual name.
Yeah, right.
Interesting. Because the eclipse is going to be very long there, right?
Exactly. I think it's the city maybe with the longest.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the longest periods of full eclipse. Yeah, exactly.
So I talked to a hotel manager there, and he said, it's kind of like our Super Bowl. They're preparing. They've been sold out since February. They're preparing, all kinds of accommodations for all these cars and people coming in to see the eclipse. And,
really.
The population of the town is probably going to triple or quadruple on that day.
Yeah.
And next day they're all gone.
Right, exactly.
Good chance to capitalize.
So did you find that any hotels were like doing any like events or anything like that? Like were they sponsoring any kind of, like any kind of goodies or anything like that for people?
Yeah. So the Marriott, Hilton, Intercontinental, all those I talked to, if they have, they're setting up viewing. They're taking advantage of it.
Interesting. Oh, themed food. I wonder what solar themed food. Like, what's eclipse themed food?
Yeah, right. Maybe like that moon food or whatever. Yeah, the dried kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they're like astronaut food, moon pies or something.
Right.
Kind of things that are puns. Nice. Okay. Well, awesome, man. So anything else, or does that about wrap up what you were looking at?
That pretty much covers it. This story was from July, so you can imagine it's only since then all the kind of hoopla and all that.
Nice, man.
Sure.
Cool. Well, thanks for stopping by, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate
great.
it. All right, cool.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so we are going to toss. Oh, we're just going to keep talking for now, actually. All right. So yeah, basically, yeah, there's obviously, as you can see, there's a lot going on today. There are all kinds of people making preparations. There's a lot of business opportunities all around the country for this. This is also a really big deal for researchers, as I'd mentioned before. A lot of scientists want to use this opportunity to watch, to study the eclipse, have an opportunity. When the moon goes in front of the sun like that, it gives people an opportunity to see these sort of outer sort of regions of the sun's atmosphere that are normally not visible because the sun is just so bright. So we can talk about that a little bit more. We got some time. I know I keep bringing that up. But right now we're going to go and we're going to talk to Angelica Levito, who is another fellow .com reporter. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well, I'm doing well. We're kind of in the first hour here. We're kind of getting along. I'm starting to get my sea legs. So,
are you ready?
I'm ready. I think we're ready. I think we're ready. You can see the picture of it right there in the...
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I know. It's like a crescent moon now. So, really beautiful.
Yeah, so what time, how many more hours do we have until it's full?
It's going to be at 1, actually within the next half hour or so, I think we're going to be entering totality.
All right.
So it's going to be pretty soon. So yeah.
So right now it's funny, we're actually almost at the Banana Sun, which is Chiquita Banana, their promotion right now.
Right, I heard about this, the Chiquita Banana, yes.
Yes, because once it becomes a crescent, it looks like a banana. So that's their big promotion right now.
all right. So can you explain this a little bit? You were doing something with this, right?
Yeah,
okay.
So they, so their big promo is the Banana Sun. So they teamed up with Funny or Die to create a video, and it's all about how this day is the Banana Sun. And so they're, promoting it, and then Hostess actually came in and created a similar graphic, and they're saying that their golden cupcakes are the official snack of the eclipse. So we have two foods that look like the eclipse. So
I'm pulling it up right now. This is their YouTube video that they had.
Yes, there it is, the Banana Sun.
This is the Banana Sun. And then wait, what was the other one you were saying? Hostess got in on it?
Hostess. It's not up there on this list.
Oh, okay, it's not on this story. This is Sarah's story,
it's on Twitter
right?
today. They announced it.
Okay.
So that's their thing.
Let's try and look this up, actually. Let's see if we can find this.
Yeah, Hostess Golden Cupcake.
That's all right. I'm just going to show it anyway. Golden. I just kind of want to see. We can describe it for our viewers.
There it is.
Oh, there we go. The golden. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there it is. The golden
So basically,
cupcake.
for those of you who cannot see it, it's basically one of these Hostess cupcakes with a kind of coronal sort of sun around, kind of blocking the sun, basically.
So is that accurate? Is that what it's going to look like?
I think there might be a little bit of some creative liberties there. So these are the big promotions going on.
Yeah, so those are the two that really directly play off the whole eclipse.
Okay.
Krispy Kreme is selling chocolate glazed donuts for the first time ever to kind of play off the whole going dark of the eclipse. So their donuts will be going dark. What else? So that's really those cars, which you're familiar with, obviously.
Volvo did something.
Volvo, because they have their Eclipse viewer.
Right.
For their 2018 XC60.
Yeah.
So you can look at the moon roof and see the eclipse and the moon.
Huh.
And then Mitsubishi, which has their own eclipse, the Eclipse Cross, they will be using this day to get some footage for their future advertising.
Huh.
So they're kind of playing off the fact that if you have a car that's called the Eclipse, it's a great day in terms of advertising.
Everybody getting in on it. Everybody getting in on it, I see.
Yeah, restaurants too. As Lauren mentioned earlier, McDonald's is giving away glasses at their Oregon locations. Dairy Queen has buy one Blizzard, get the second for 99 cents. So you can go get a Blizzard today.
This is like kind of I don't know, just odd, like all these this is like an astronomical event, and yet like there are all these companies that are just seizing upon it, I guess.
Exactly. Like Chiquita and Hostess, they are really trying to play off the eclipse, the actual event. But then you have these other promotions that are really just sales based around the eclipse. So it's kind of a mixed bag in terms of that. But one of my favorites is actually Royal Caribbean. They have a total eclipse cruise. So they will be sailing to the optimal point at sea today where you can see the eclipse.
Okay.
And then, I can't remember the name, there's that song.
Isn't it Bonnie Tyler?
Yes, she'll be
Doing
performing.
Total Eclipse of the Heart?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
So, and then Amtrak, I'm sure you know, they had their train going from Chicago to Southern Illinois, which is near and dear to me, being in the area.
Okay.
But yeah, so you can go to Southern Illinois and you'll get a free pair of glasses. So it's been all around the spectrum. And there's Snapchat filters, and people are talking on Facebook.
Right.
And so now, I don't think.
It's awesome. I mean, it's interesting what's surrounding it. The things coming down, you know, people, and you know, people kind of get in on it, you know, and Novi Grass Ice comes out, you know, kind of pops. A lot of buzz around the issue. It gets promoted a lot, and you know. So we are going to bring dear.
Like, oh, look at this moon and the sun, or look, blah, 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 right?
Okay.
And then all of a so you wouldn't see that interaction.
They said that they wanted to do this raw.
There you go. I should lose my shirt. I should untuck everything.
We have to stay real here. That's why.
So I had Nick Wells send you an email.
Oh, okay.
I know last time I said don't open your email, but this time.
But
did he even send it?
Hold on. No, that was me searching for something. Yeah.
So
let's see here.
He didn't even do it.
Maybe
he should have sent it right now. He said he was going to send a screenshot, and it was going to be the Google searches.
Oh. Maybe he.
It's going to be. Do this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. See?
There we go.
But
okay, can you guys see
cool?
that? All right, so this is a map of the continental United States. And did you make, Wells made this?
No, it's just from Google.
Oh, okay. So, basically, this is a map of the United States, and you're saying these are
That's
all.
where there's more search interest for a solar eclipse Google search. It's a Google Trends thing, so you go to the trends, you could see it.
And this is actually following the path of totality across. You can figure out exactly where this is. You can figure out.
social media for LinkedIn are the funnier posts that people can get involved in. So it's a lot of don't burn your eyeballs out, make sure you get the glasses. Where do I get the glasses? What do I do with the glasses? When do I wear the glasses? You know, a lot of glasses talk going on LinkedIn right now.
Okay.
I've been following some top tweets from celebrities on Twitter as well.
Okay.
You know, like Melissa Etheridge just tweeted out. Let's pull it up real quick.
Sorry to interrupt. We got to get to Jane Wells right now.
Let's
Stick around though, okay?
Yeah.
All right, Jane. What was it like?
Hey, Robert. Hard to put into words. I actually, when I was live for CNBC On Air, I stopped for a moment just so I could sort of take it in. At that moment when, you know, I thought, you know, it's not, you know, we're close and it's not getting that dark. And all of a sudden, boom, it got really dark and the temperature just dove and everybody here let out a cheer. People were howling at the moon. And then when we were all able to take off our goggles because it was in full total eclipse and you saw that beautiful, gorgeous corona around the sun, around the moon, and just that black, black moon. And then all of a sudden you could see Venus off to the right, 10:20 in the morning, and you're seeing a planet in the sky.
Oh, man.
And just sort of a 360 degrees sort of faint orange of sunset. It's hard really to put it into perspective. I was heartbroken when the sun came back out again and I had to put the safety goggles back on. But after that, it was like someone threw on a light switch and the lights are it came on a lot and now they're gradually starting to come on more and more. Yeah, the moon is still covering most of the sun as it now makes its exit. But again, Casper, Wyoming is the next major city, which is going to be in about 15 minutes. Lincoln, Nebraska will have totality about 20 minutes after that, and so on as we go across the country. People here were thrilled.
Wow, wow! It looked pretty crazy even on the screen to see it that way. So were there crickets chirping? Did you hear any crickets?
I did not hear crickets, but that could be because everybody was whooping and hollering.
Oh, really?
Might have scared the crickets. And there's not a lot of wildlife here for us to get some sort of reaction. But what was so precipitous was how quickly, in an instant, it went to night. It was gradually getting dark and then night.
Really?
And the temperature, which was gradually cooling, went cold. Surreal, very, very surreal.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. So this is a bit different from using the pinhole trick that you did when you were a kid, huh?
Yeah, pun intended, night and day different.
Really?
Folks, if you don't get to see it today, go wherever it is. In 2024, there will be a total eclipse that goes from Texas up through Maine, August 2024. April 8th, 2024. It'll start in Texas and move north through Maine. It'll go through New York. Do it.
There's also going to be one in South. It's going to touch South America, like in 2019, right? I think there's also supposed to be one in South America in 2019.
You know, I think that might be a little bit too difficult for most people to get to. I would just say, for those of you particularly in the Northeast who missed out on this one, get ready for 2024.
Yeah, yeah. So are people already starting to like file out of there? Like, is everybody getting on the road already? I mean, what is it? People starting to disperse?
A few people, because that's going to be the real hell. You know, the traffic incoming was gradual and gradual and gradual. Oh, you can start to see the cars right over here, Dan. The cars are lining up to leave. They think that somehow, it's like going to a Dodgers game in Los Angeles. People leave after the 6th inning. You know, people practically were leaving before the corona had come through. But yeah, everybody was gradually getting here until yesterday afternoon when it just became jammed. And now it's, now everybody's just breaking down as fast as they can to get out of there. We're not even able to get a flight out of here today. We're going to drive to Portland late tonight and then catch a flight out of Portland tomorrow.
Really, really? Well, wasn't there like supposed to be some like a festival there in Madras or something? There was like a big festival going on, right? Like a solar fest?
Oh yeah, they had Solar Fest, they had NASA talks, they had all kinds of stuff. That was down towards downtown at the fairgrounds. This is Solartown Campground, turned out to be a much, much bigger gathering. I mean, 20,000 campers here, food trucks, they keep cleaning the portable toilets. I mean, I have to say, they did a really good job. And the people were really cool.
Really? Everyone was cool? Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, thanks, Jane. I'm really jealous, and I hope you have a safe trip back.
2024.
We'll talk again. Yeah, 2024. Maybe we'll meet up. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
Okay.
All right, we're going to take it over to Contessa Brewer now in Columbia, South Carolina. Let's see if clouds are forming. Contessa, what's going on?
It's so cool. We just had our first glimpse of the sun being just partially blocked by the moon. The very tip of it now has edged over the circle of the moon, and all at once, everybody in the whole baseball stadium turned around, pulled their glasses up, and I didn't have mine in hand, so I couldn't look at it. I just saw everyone picking up their glasses, and people rushed over to help share extras that they had. It's such an awesome feeling, but the clouds are rolling in, as I said before, and right behind my photographer, I'm looking at one that looks like rain. It's got a black, dark gray overcast to it, and this is what people are worried about. I just saw it up above, getting this great clear shot, Robert, of the sun with the moon just coming over to block the sun just a little bit, and all of a sudden that cloud goes over, and you can still see higher percentage for rain than Columbia, and AAA was warning, well, if everybody hits the road at the same time trying to find clear skies, you're likely to get jam-packed on the highways. What is it, Interstate 26 that comes right down here, right? Yeah, so, it could be a big problem. Oh, I did meet people, though, who were driving hours just to get to Columbia, shelling out big bucks. Well, let me introduce you to this family in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Hello, Eclipseistas.
Hello. Good morning.
Where are you guys from?
Fredericksburg, Virginia.
How long of a drive was that?
About 7 hours.
Wait a minute, you drove 7 hours to come to a museum?
Yes.
Why?
For, of course, the solar eclipse, and of course it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and something that we really wanted to do.
So let me get this straight. Have you never seen an eclipse before?
That is true.
And what do you expect to see happen?
Well, I'm hoping it's not going to be cloudy and we're going to see it.
Have you been madly checking the forecast today?
Yes.
Okay. Can you give me a sense of what the forecast calls for the
there, and then the journey on the way out when the sun comes back out. It all kind of, you get to Disneyland and that's where you try to get to, but if you had a good enough trip, getting to Disneyland may just be part of the story. It's the lead up, it's the anticipation, it's the crowd cheering. When I was listening to Miguel Marquez's shot from Salem, and the crowd behind him was, they were roaring as this was getting closer and closer and closer. It was like you were like a football game, not like you were at some kind of solar eclipse, and I guess maybe football games happen all the time. Solar eclipses don't.
This one, moving all across the United States, first time since 1918, 99 years folks have been waiting for this moment. You know, Chris Hatfield, I just want to get your thoughts on why it is so powerful, so emotional, so spiritual for folks who actually see it.
Well, you know, through history, Wolf, we've named the things in the sky with a sense of wonder. We named the planets after the gods from thousands of years ago. When those first eclipses happened, it was a terrifying, unbelievable, unpredictable event. Our gods somehow angry at us. As the science has explained what's going on, it becomes at least a little more palatable within us intellectually. But that same fundamental sense of wonder is there. And the crew of the space station right now is just south of Australia. But it's only going to take them about a half hour to be back over the United States, to come across the Pacific. And they will then have a chance, as they arc up and across the northern states, to look for that shadow crossing across. The Kentucky and Tennessee have the longest period of totality. That's where the shadow slows down the most. So they'll get over 2.5 minutes of totality. And around that time is when the 6 people up on the space station, they'll be taking pictures like crazy, but they'll be feeling that same sense of ancient wonder that that eclipses have instilled in all of us forever.
Those 6 astronauts, Chad, they will have a totally unique vantage point view of this eclipse as it moves across the United States. And as you've been saying, very, very important that they're going to be able to glean important scientific information from this. But once again, explain to our viewers what kind of scientific information, the best scientific information, will they be able to obtain?
It's looking at the corona, Wolf. It's looking when you get totality. It's the view you can't get any other time. Yes, you can put a disk in the way of the sun and get a man-made partial eclipse and try to get a reading from that. But when you take a body and not just a piece of plastic, and you don't block it with a piece of plastic in front of a telescope, you block it with a body of rock way out there in space, you get a much clearer view. The edges are much clearer, although, of course, there are the craters on the moon. The edges of that corona, the prominences that we saw, they were amazing. There were 3 of them, one to the north, one to the northeast, and one to the east itself, if you're looking at it from northeast as south. But the prominences that we could see there, these explosions from the sun, these coronal mass ejections, we might even get to see one if there's something small that puffs out here. These are the things that can affect the world in the future, and the more we know about them, the more we can protect the world from electromagnetic storms, from brownouts, from blackouts, because of this power that's coming from the sun itself. The more we know, the better we can prepare. The better we can prepare, we can do and cause less damage to our infrastructure when it happens. There is going to be a coronal mass ejection that flies to the Earth at some point in time, and probably in my lifetime and yours too. And that is going to affect the Earth. A lot of times they go one way because it's 3-dimensional, could go back behind the sun. But if one shoots right at the world, all of a sudden there's going to be this charge of the world, not only northern lights, but also our power grids get charged, our computers get charged, and things go down, and things go crash, and things go bump in the night, and there can be billions of dollars in damage that we can maybe alleviate if we know more about how to get our systems down, how quickly it moves, what frequency things are coming in, what speed they're coming in. There's just so much that the world depends on that cell phone of yours. You know, the cell phone could launch the Atlas V rocket of the years past because it's so technically advanced. And now all that technology is at some point going to come tumbling down if we get too much electromagnetic from the sun.
Chad, take a look at this on the right part of the screen. Casper, Wyoming. David, we're about to have a total eclipse there. You see the camera moving a bit, but explain what we're about to see in Casper, Wyoming right now, as opposed to Haley, Idaho.
Well, in Haley, Idaho, the eclipse seems to be getting larger because it's after totality. But in Casper, Wyoming, it's just before, and it's sort of, if you think of the crescent there as a smile, the smile is getting narrower and narrower, and amazing. At this point, it's gone.
There it is, total eclipse.
And if you take
Casper, Wyoming.
And at this point, if they take the filters off the camera, they will see the corona.
You see it. You see it. Oh, there it is. Go. Yeah. So explain why that corona now has appeared.
The corona is very, very faint relative to the rest of the sun. And so even though it's always there, we can't see it because we're blinded by sunlight. And that would be true on the ground, true in space, true anywhere. But once that corona is cut off by that occulting disk, the moon that's 250,000 miles away, as was correctly pointed out there, the very sharp limb between the moon's limb there and the sun being exactly the same size lets us only see the faint light that is in the outer atmosphere of the sun. And that is what we are seeing now. The key of a total solar eclipse is that we can see the whole corona. In artificial eclipses and others, we only see the outer corona. But here we can see the inner corona where the really important processes are taking place.
And this total eclipse will last there in Casper, Wyoming, about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
That's right.
And then slowly, all of a sudden, the sun will reappear.
That's exactly right. And it'll reappear really quickly in that what's called a Bailey's bead. That's the bright portion of the sun coming back. And even the contrast is so great that it just overpowers the corona, and that's all you see is sort of like a diamond ring effect, it's called.
So if you're on the ground now in Casper, Wyoming, it's dark.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You might get confused and think it's nighttime.
Well, I mean, if I was a burrowing creature, I'd start looking for saying, you know, where am I supposed to be going now?
The animals will get confused out there. They're wondering what's going on. And I guess we could reassure the animals this is the first time a total eclipse path like this has gone across the United States in 99 years.
Exactly.
Since 1918.
That's right.
There have been other total eclipses, but not completely across the United States.
That's exactly right.
So this is a moment we're watching this total eclipse. This is in Casper, Wyoming. Shortly, and we'll keep this picture up for our viewers, all of a sudden tell our viewers what to anticipate.
Well, at this point, with the sun just now coming back, there it goes. That's the bead. There's the diamond ring effect. And that, of course, is overexposing. You got to put the filter back on. That's right.
Yeah.
They're doing it right.
So they're doing the filter.
Yep. Whoops. Got to get that filter on. Yeah. I hope they didn't burn off some pixels in the camera.
Yeah, that sunlight is very, very intense.
Right.
So you got to be really careful. You have to have a lot of filters. And,
there we go.
And so here it comes. All of a sudden, the sun will come back out.
That's right. And people all across the eclipse path from west to east are seeing this in sequence. It's just an incredible thing to realize that so millions of people are able to see this. When we were in Libya, we were this was in 2006. The desert was empty, except for about 1,500 crazy people yelling and screaming at the top of their heads.
The Libyan government at the time of Muammar Gaddafi allowed you in?
They allowed an Italian cruise ship in, and we were on a cruise, part of that was sponsored and directed by a magazine called Sky and Telescope. But it was Italian cruise.
Well, let me get Chris Hatfield to weigh in as well. What did you think, Chris?
It's just so magnificent to see something we haven't talked about, Wolf, and that is just as the sun is disappearing behind the moon, and then just as it's reappearing, as the first hint of that light is coming down, the light can get sort of bent a little bit through the atmosphere, sort of like how stars twinkle. And if you look under just the right conditions, you can see these big waving bands of light on the ground. Not always, but if you're in the right place, you can see those like snakes of light slithering across the ground. And I'm really curious to see if any of the people across the country got the right combination of everything, so they got to see that extremely rare and bizarre effect from a solar eclipse.
Yeah, you saw that total eclipse in Casper, Wyoming. Moving now closer towards Nebraska, Beatrice, Nebraska. We got some live pictures coming in from there as well. We have a lot more of our special coverage coming up. We need to take a quick break. Unfortunately, Beatrice, Nebraska looks sort of cloudy right now, but we've got cameras all over the country as this total eclipse moves across the country from Oregon to Idaho to Nebraska, moving towards South Carolina. Our special coverage continues right after this quick break.
Choose to go.